India has been heavily dependent on Russian oil for a few years now, specifically after Western countries stopped buying Russian crude oil due to Ukraine war. But now, with new US sanction on Russian oil export, India's energy security is facing serious challenges. These sanctions, which started on January 10, 2025, are making it harder and more expensive for Indian refineries to import Russian oil at discounted rates. The big question is, how will this impact India's economy and fuel prices? Ever since the Ukraine war began, Western countries stopped buying oil from Russia. This gave India a golden opportunity to buy Russian crude at a very huge discount. India quickly became Russia's biggest customer, importing nearly 1.67 million barrels per day, and that too by January this year. Indian refiners, including state-run Indian Oil Corporation, took really big advantage of these low prices, boosting imports by over 50%. But now, things have changed. Due to US sanction, Russian crude discounts are shrinking and transportation costs are rising. Just a few months ago, Indian refiners were getting Russian crude oil at $3.50 per barrel, that is less than the benchmark price. But now the discount has fallen to just 2.50 to 3 per barrel. Now this means that India is paying more for the same oil, which could eventually increase fuel prices for the customers as well. Now let me tell you what's the impact on Russian refiners. Now for Russian refiners, this is a double blow. Not only are the discounts on Russian oil get smaller, but the cost of transporting the oil has also shot up. The shipping costs for Russian oils from Baltic ports have now risen to over $6 million per shipment, compared to just $4.9 million before the sanction. This increase means higher costs for refineries could eventually lead to higher fuel price in India as well. The problem is that March oil shipment from Russia may not arrive in the same quantity as before. Now this has made Indian refiners really nervous, as they now have to find other oil resources or negotiate better deals. Indian Oil Corporation CFO Anuj Jain recently said that we will still buy Russian crude, but only if it remains at a reasonable discount. Now higher crude oil costs could directly impact India's economy. Fuel prices are already a big issue for Indian households and businesses. If import costs goes up, petrol and diesel prices could actually increase, making transportation, food and daily essentials more expensive. This could push inflation higher, affecting common people the most over here. At the very same time, India's economy is already facing slow growth and high inflation. If oil prices rise, the Modi government will have to carefully balance international relationship and domestic needs. With elections approaching, fuel prices will be a major concern for the voters. While India struggles with the rising cost, the US is actually benefiting. American oil exports to India have quadrupled to 296,000 barrels per day, as Washington encourages India to buy more US oil instead of Russian crude. But you know what? US crude is more expensive than Russian oil, which means that India will have to pay more if it ships the supplier. China, like India, has always been a major buyer for Russian oil. However, China has found ways to bypass the sanction using alternative shipping and payment methods. Will India do the same? Well, right now, Indian refiners are playing it really safe, making sure that their purchases don't violate US sanctions. With Russian oil getting costlier and US sanctions tightening supplies, India has some big decisions to make. Let me tell you the 3 decisions that it needs to make. Will it negotiate better discounts with Russia? Will increase oil purchases from other countries? Find loopholes to bypass US sanctions? For now, Indian refiners are being extra careful, requiring additional documents to avoid trouble with the US authorities. At the very same time, India remains a major player in the global oil market as well, and its demand for cheaper energy cannot be ignored. The next few months will be very important. If the oil crisis worsens, fuel prices in India could rise and the government will have to find solution. As global politics, economies, and energy needs collide, one thing is certain: India's oil strategy is at a turning point right now.